If you have $1,000,000 and you are 61 years old and you want to retire early, this is the video for you. This is a real case study of a current client of mine that I changed the name on so that you can compare it to your situation to see if you are on track to retire early. My name is Taublieb. I'm the host of the Early Retirement Podcast, and I love helping people retire early. Let's hop right in. So this is a sample of a real client. I'm going to zoom in to make this larger for you. So what you're going to see here, I'm just going to zoom in right now. This is, you can see Sarah's sample right here. And Sarah is a real client of mine. I've changed the name, so of course it's not Sarah, but she has a net worth of about 2.1, nearly $2.2 million. You can see if we go down the list here of her blueprint page, and this software I'm going through, by the way, is called Right Capital. This is a software that I'll use for a lot of my clients. And what you can see is she has a primary home, and that's worth $1.2 million. There's still a mortgage of $236,000. So this might be your exact situation. It might be somewhat close, it might be a little far off. Regardless, you will be able to compare what I'm going to show you today so that you have a better sense of where you're at in terms of your early retirement. She has a checking account of $30,000, a savings of $120,000, and a Roth IRA with $152,000, a rollover IRA from an old 401k of $771,000, and a brokerage account with $145,000. So she came to me going, can I retire? And so before we hopped right into yes or no, we of course have to understand how much do you want to spend? What does that look like? So I'm going to show you guys what were those things we discussed so you have a clear sense of what we're actually planning for. Now, Sarah's sample here is 61 years old when she came to me. She wants to retire at 63. So she came to me going, hey, I'd love people to retire at 63 and spend $5,000 a month. So she wanted to be able to spend $5,000 a month. Now that's $5,000 a month every single month after taxes adjusted for inflation. So it's me saying, Sarah, here's a paycheck of $5,000 every single month, and I'll show you. What if it's more? What if it's less? I put an estimate on there for healthcare costs. She wanted to buy a new car for $35,000 every, you can see 7 years here, and that ends after 15 years. So you can get really fancy with it in the software, but she just said, plan for a new car, want to be able to help for grandkids, college, and then family travel on top of that. So here are some of her goals. She came to me saying, can I do it? Right now, she's still working. So she's 61 and she makes $85,000 a year. And her Social Security estimate at full retirement age is $1,800. And that's $1,800 a month. So that is what she's working with in terms of what is her income today. She's saving. All she's doing is the Roth IRA maximum. And I say all it's doing, it's still very good. She's maxing out her Roth IRA. So she's getting the full catch up, and that is for this year, 2023. And this is what she's starting with. The question is, what is she on track for? And can she retire early? And that's what you're all wondering. So the first thing that I'll do is I'll go into our retirement software and I'll show her the following. And so you're going, what on earth are we even looking at? And I kind of pre-built this before to show you a few different things. So what I'm going to do, I got a little excited, is I like to reset this. And I like to go super raw base case. Now, this is not to scare anyone. Let me put this back to the base case. But what you guys are going to see here is what is she on track for? And so the first thing you're going to see, you're all going to go, oh my gosh, this is really scary. It's not scary, and I'll give you this analogy why. This is the I don't know phase. She's saying, am I on track to retire if I tell you I want to do these things? Here she is. She's got $1 million, and this is showing that her $1 million, 1.2, she's going to run out of money by age 75. And you're going, well, that sounds pretty terrible. Like, this is not encouraging at all. I'm kind of in this boat. Well, this is assuming she wanted to work until 63. What if she worked one more year? So she worked until 64 instead. When we refresh this, and you're going to go, okay, what does that do to the plan? Okay, so instead of running out of money at 75, she's now running out of money at age 80. That's also not too encouraging. I don't want to run out of money. And we'll take it a few steps further. What about age 65? So assuming that she works 2 more years, we'll come back up to the plan. Well, now, once again, now it's a little closer, but we're still running out of money at age 84. So we go, okay, what are our options? Well, the first thing is, this is assuming $20,000 every single year I'll make it a little bigger for you, and it's hard to see, $20,000 a year for 10 years of family travel. So really what we're showing is right now that Sarah is spending $5,000 every single month. That's $60,000 a year plus $20,000 for the first 10 years. That's about $80,000. Okay. So what we'll want to do is say, well, what if we cut family travel back? Not entirely, but instead of $20,000 a year, it's $10,000 a year. And we'll refresh this, and we'll continue to do this with clients to go, okay, well, now what's happening is we're getting a little closer. Now we're running out of money at age 87, but still not fun to see running out of money. Well, what if we brought down our core living expenses from $5,000 a month to $4,500. Like, does $500 make a big difference? And we'll refresh this. And hopefully you guys are starting to see the importance of these variables here is we'll refresh this. And now what you're seeing is, okay, well, now we're not going to run out of money, but it's still close. Here we are at age 60. And what you're seeing is now at age 90, we're projected to have about $300,000 left over. So some people go, wow, that's not encouraging. I'd love to be able to spend more, do more. I say, great, let's look at our options. Well, what happens if we worked until 67? Now, a lot of you are watching right now going, Ari, you're the host of the Early Retirement Podcast. I don't want to work till 67. I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying, what are your options? Because a lot of you don't want to pass away with $2.2 million. And if Sarah worked until 67, she would. And so we want to always ask ourselves, okay, what are we working with? So these are some of the pieces that hopefully you can see. Now, at the same time, this assumes we get moderate growth, okay? This is one big variable. I'm going to zoom in. This is really important. Assumes we get moderate growth. That's about 6% growth over time. What if we do better than that? What if we, assuming, have a 7-8% growth? I'm not saying you want to rely on that, but we just want to say, great, let's see what does that mean to the plan. Well, now it's showing you're on track for about $3 million. So we go, wait a second. What if we move this back down? What if we did retire at 65? So the traditional retirement, and we spent what we're talking about here. Well, now what you're going to see is Sarah Sample, who, by the way, has no children, she doesn't want to die with $5 million. She wants to know how early can she retire. And in this example, the earliest, assuming she invests the right way, and we'll talk more about that in future videos, and she says, Ari, I can comfortably spend $4,500 every single month, $10,000 on travel for the first 10 years. What you're going to see is Sarah would be on track for about $878,000 by age 90. So it's absolutely doable. Now, if she wanted to leave more of a legacy, I'd say we need to work longer or spend less. But these are all really helpful tools that we have at our disposal. Now, this is including, to be clear for all of you, you're going, hey, is this including Social Security? Yes, this is including Social Security. This is including that, here's our current salary today. So we always want to know, hey, what are we on track for? And this was assuming healthcare estimates and be able to fund for grandkids' college. And all of these are priorities. A new car for the first, 15 years we talked about, so 2 new cars. These variables are hopefully really helpful for you guys to see because they make big impacts to the plan. And this net worth that she's working with here's her, you can see we can zoom in here, the current value of her home and her property taxes and the mortgage that she currently has, interest rate and monthly payment. All of this is really important, but it's ultimately to fund, are we on track to retire? That is what you're all thinking in the back of your head is, are we going to be okay? And so 99% of people will retire on this graph, and we always want to stress test this so that no one's retiring in a position where they're now worried to the point where it's, hey, I think I can do it, but I'm just not sure. You don't want to, cut it close. So I'm not telling any of you guys this to scare you, and I'm going to give you one quick analogy, and then that's all I have for today's quick case study video. That is going to summarize all of this up for you. I promise I did not just show you that to scare you. I'm showing you that because I don't want you to have to retire again. Trust me, I work with a lot of clients that are in their 70s going, Ari, please tell your current clients to make sure that they retire early once and with confidence. You don't want to retire and then all of a sudden go, hey, I retired too early and now I just don't know if I can retire sustainably and spend what I want to spend. I wish I would have worked 6 more months or 1 more year so that you can spend what you want to spend. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 is what I call the I don't know phase. I'm a soccer player. I love playing soccer, and I am not fun to be around when I'm hangry, okay? And people say I'm worse than hangry before I get my MRI. So it's a dopey joke I'll tell my clients. But the idea here is the following. I am not fun to be around because I'm injured until I get my MRI. And the MRI is almost like your financial plan in this scenario. And then I get my physical therapy. And that's what working with a planner is like, is to give them a diagnosis and then say, great, what are you on track for? What levers can you maneuver so you can retire early? So once I have my MRI and my physical therapy, it doesn't mean I'm back on the field tomorrow. It means that I now have a plan to know what I have to do to be back on the field at the level I want to be at. And I want that for all of you. I don't want you to retire too early. And unfortunately, I see that often because people want to retire so badly that they don't even consider part-time income. They don't consider tax strategy, which I did not put into that video. I intentionally am just showing you a bare bones. What are you on track for if you have $1 million and you want to spend about $5,000 a month and have a few other goals? Very reasonable for a lot of people, but I want to make sure that you are not running out of money. And so those big variables of $5,000 a month and how much longer you're working, 1 more years or 2 more years, huge variables that play big impacts on your plan. And if you invest the right way, you can create a whole lot more income. And so this is what we love to do. So if this is of interest to you and you want a custom strategy to retire early, that's what we do, and we love doing it. So you can see more details in the description. I only ask if you like this video. It helps more people have confidence towards retiring early and they can find it. So please do smash that like video if you don't mind, that like button, excuse me, on this video. And I will see you all in the next video. And let me know if you want more case studies just like this. Thanks, guys.